Hi Bowl Bakers! You know I am a huge fan of making donuts. However, one of the most common questions I get from you is, can you make them without yeast? Well, you will be delighted to know that I have the perfect donut recipe for you that you do not need yeast for, and you don't even need a stand mixer to make them. We're going to mix them all up by hand. Super easy recipe. As always, the recipe for these donuts and all of my other recipes can be found on my website, biggerbolderbaking.com. Okay, let's get started in a nice large bowl. Add in your flour, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon, nutmeg, and salt. And then whisk all these ingredients together. All we want to do here is make sure that all of our raising agent spices get mixed all the way throughout. So now we are going to set this aside and we're going to mix together our wet ingredients in a separate jug. Add in buttermilk, melted butter, vanilla extract, and eggs. And then whisk all these ingredients together. So now if you don't eat eggs, that is totally fine. You can substitute them for applesauce or mashed banana. Feel free to reference my egg substitute chart on my website. It's really, really helpful if you're vegan or you don't eat eggs. Okay, this is looking good. Now we've got our wet ingredients and we're going to mix them straight into our dry. So using a spatula, I find this best to just bring the two ingredients together. Now this will form a bit of a dry dough. We're just going to mix it until we get it as much together as we can. And then I'm going to go in with my hand and just pull the dough together. It doesn't need more liquid. You might think it does, but it doesn't really. When you touch it, it's nice and wet. So just bring it all together to form a ball. Now I'm going to turn it out onto my floured surface. I really love this dough because the donuts that it yields are so soft and kind of cakey. But the thing about it is you don't need a stand mixer. You don't need to wait 2 hours for a dough to rise. It's just so simple. All we're going to do is flatten this dough out with our hand to around 3/4 of an inch thick because we want to make nice thick donuts. Okay, so to cut out our donuts, you do not need to go and buy a donut cutter. We have a round cutter here and a little small one. This is around 3 inches and this around 1.5 inches. And all we're going to do is do boop, like this and make our donuts. So just go ahead and cut out all of your nice donuts. And then go along with your insidey part and right in the middle. There we go. Now obviously these little ones left over are donut holes, so they will also get eaten. Perfect, look at that. Gorgeous donuts. Then with the rest of your dough, just go ahead and kind of fold it back together, press it out, and continue cutting out your donuts until all your dough is gone. So our donuts are cut out, we are ready to get frying. Now the thing about it is you do not need a deep fryer to cook these off. We are going to shallow fry them in a heavy bottom saucepan with a vegetable oil or a canola oil or even a sunflower oil, any kind of a flavorless oil. A good safety tip is to keep your pan at the back of the stove so it's not on the edge. Now if you want to check the temperature of your oil to see if it's ready, and if you have a thermometer, it should read 375 degrees Fahrenheit. However, what I like to do is take a little bit of dough, pop it in there and see how long it takes to go brown, and that's kind of roughly how I know if it's good to cook off my donuts. So it only took around 2 minutes for my little piece of dough to go brown, so now I know that my oil is hot enough to start cooking off my donuts. So I'm just going to put in a few at a time, around 4, to give them enough space to cook by themselves. So I like to use a spider when I'm making donuts. Just make sure whatever utensil you use has a wooden handle so the heat doesn't go all the way through it. So you just want to cook your donuts for around 3 to 4 minutes or until they're golden brown before you flip them over. Once your donuts are brown, flip them over and cook them for a further 3 to 4 minutes. So now in case you do not want to fry your donuts, do not worry. I have got loads of baked ones, from carrot cake to red velvet. My favorite is chocolate, and they can all be found on my website. Last but not least, don't forget to cook off your donut holes. Now these guys will take a little less time because they're smaller. Our donuts are gorgeous and golden brown. They smell amazing. So here's the secret to donuts, just like the way you get them in a donut shop. Dunk them in glaze while they're still warm, because when you do that, it soaks it all up and it gives you a lovely crisp shell. So whatever glaze you like, just dip it in. I like to dunk them in fully for some of them. And then for others, I like to just get the top and let the excess drip off. Now I have loads of different glazes here, and I actually have a post on my website dedicated to donut glazes. That's how popular they are. So make sure you go check that out. I have to say that these donuts look pretty legit. It's like when you go out to buy like special donuts, this is exactly what they look like. Now, however, I am a serious fan of donut holes, so I'm gonna try this one. Oh man, I love these because they're nice and cakey in the middle and they're crunchy on the outside. You can probably hear that. These are awesome. You are definitely going to want to try this recipe. I get so many requests for donuts, so I'm delighted to be able to do one finally that has no yeast in it. I really hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I'll see you back here really soon for more bigger, bolder baking.